Okay, so take note of the range. If we have zero point 0.4 below, then that is mostly covalent. And if we have so anyway, if we have 1.7, that is unsa siya?
Polar, ma'am.
Okay, polar, and then mostly if it is above 1.7, then that is ionic. Now, in your periodic table also, makita po diara ang imuang electronegativity value in each atoms or each element. So, i-minus na nimo sila. Now, if inig-minus, if it is maabot na range, then you can identify if it is polar or non-polar. Okay, now let's do that one. Okay. Okay, so if we have use a polar arrow to indicate the polarity of each bond. Okay, if we have NH, NH, who has higher electronegativity?
N, ma'am.
Okay, so arrow will go point. Okay. Asa mag-point imong arrow dira? Okay, partially positive. Kinsa?
H, ma'am.
Then you have partially negative imong N. Now, we have the values. We have values. We have En values. So if we have nitrogen, for nitrogen, we have 3.0. Delta En is equal to 3.0 minus. For H, we have 2.1. That is equal to 0.9. Now, is it polar or non-polar?
Non-polar, ma'am.
0.9.
Non-polar, ma'am.
Okay. 0.4 pataas taman 1.7, that is polar. So 0.9, is it polar or non-polar?
Polar, ma'am.
Polar, ma'am.
Okay, so we have polar. Okay, first pa buhaton no is after you have identified that it is polar, then that's the time that you will put an arrow and then you will determine partially positive and partially negative. First step is to identify if it is polar or non-polar. Okay, ha? So if we have Fn, Fn is delta En. Electronegativity is equal to F. What is 4.0 point minus N. Bilang N? 3.0. Polar or non-polar?
Polar, ma'am.
Okay.
Polar siya, ma'am.
Polar. Okay, what about ICl? Meron din siya polar. Sure lang. I is 2.5 minus 3.0. That is equal to
Polar.
absolute number lang ha. That is equal to 0.5. Polar or non-polar?
Polar, ma'am.
Polar gyapon no. Gamay kayang labaw lang. We have polar. Okay. Then partially kit sa ICl. ICl. Partially positive.
I, ma'am.
Partially negative. Cl. Arrow goes towards Cl. Okay. What about N, F and N? Arrow goes kinsa mas electronegative?
F, ma'am.
F. Okay, so that is partially. Now we have kinsa partially positive.
N, ma'am.
Partially negative. Okay, what about NH? Ay, naman tadi no? NH.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you CH daw? CH. CH. Let's identify if it is polar. Dapat tayo, wala tayo kuan. Okay. Hala, wala pa na record.
Polar.
2.55. Ah, na di ay.